Let's talk a little bit about child support. You guys know when a man owes child support, there's no sympathy for him. It's like all these deadbeat dads trying to get away from paying for their kids. Let's see how the attitudes change when a woman has to pay child support for once. Halle Berry calls pricey child support payments extortion. It's wrong. The star reportedly pays her ex $16,000 per month. That's about average for what male celebrities usually have to pay their exes when they're stuck with child support. But nobody cared when it was only happening to men. Now, this is just like alimony. You guys remember what actually led to lifetime alimony and sometimes alimony in general just being eliminated in most states? Women having to pay alimony is what did it. As long as it was only men paying alimony, nobody cared. In fact, they laughed at the men who were complaining about it. Then women entered the workforce, and women started out-earning men in a lot of professions, which led to more women having to pay lifetime alimony to their ex-husbands. After a few years of women crying about how unfair it is, alimony was reworked or completely removed in some cases. So men, if you're sick of the family courts just, bending you over and having their way with you, let's make sure we have more situations like this. Because the more women get screwed over by family courts and child support, the higher the chance that the system is finally going to be reformed and made more fair. So if you want things to change, if you're an MRA, if you want to fix things, if you want to change things and make them better for men, all these problems that are pretty much exclusively male problems need to become women's problem. Because if only men are affected, nobody gives a shit. Once women are affected, though, society will trip over itself to fix it, so the poor whammons will stop crying. This is how you fix problems in society. Halle Berry is speaking her mind. Oh, how stunning and brave. The 54-year-old actress recently took to Instagram to share a simple quote that she found empowering. "Women don't owe you shit." In the caption, she wrote, and that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay. She engaged in a few brief arguments in the comment section, mostly related to gender roles and what followers thought the quote meant, including a troll who said she can't keep a man. Now, how is that a troll? That is absolutely true. Yeah, she also addressed child support payments in the comments. "It takes great strength every day to pay it," she said. "And by the way, it's wrong and it's extortion." Now, I agree with Halle Berry on this 100%. The way child support is handled in America, it is wrong. It is extortion. Child support is like the one thing you can still get thrown into debtor's prison for. Yeah, it should be illegal to get thrown into prison for owing debt. In most other cases, it is, but not with child support. You miss a child support payment because you had to eat that month, because you lost the good job you had at the time of your divorce, but they didn't lower your payments at all, and they'll throw you in jail, which will then lead to you losing your job, which means you can't pay your next payment either, which means you're still in jail. You see where things could kind of go off the rails here? I agree. The child support system in America is BS. Why is it that nobody cared until women were affected, though? Well, whatever. This is the system we have to work with. Like I keep saying, it's not fair. Life's not fair. It would be nice if things were better. It would be nice if there weren't double standards. But unfortunately, we don't live in that kind of world. Instead of complaining about how flawed the world is, find ways to work around it and fix it if you can. And this is one of the ways we can help. If you're an MRA and you are sick to death of men getting destroyed by family courts and child support, we need to be pushing more men to become like house husbands if they can. Now, you definitely have a side gig on the side. Keep your money separate. Talk to an asset protection lawyer to make sure that the ex can't ever get access to it. Find ways to protect yourself, but find ways to make sure the woman is the one that pays in the event of a separation. Women initiate the vast majority of divorces, you know. And the chances of divorce actually skyrocket when you're dealing with a stay-at-home dad or a stay-at-home husband. So we got to be encouraging men to take advantage of this system. Put yourself in a position where your wife would be the one that foots the bill for you instead of the other way around. And make sure she does. And eventually, just like with alimony, once enough women are suffering from this broken, unfair child support system, that is when we're gonna change. That's when the system's finally gonna be fixed. As long as only men are suffering, nobody cares. So make it women's problem. Then suddenly everyone's gonna care. But back to the article. Yeah, Berry didn't mention any names in her comment, but she shares chillins with ex-husband Olivier Martinez and her ex-partner Gabriel Aubry. With Martinez, she shares her 7-year-old son Maceo, and with Aubry, she shares her 12-year-old daughter Nala. In June, current year -7, the Oscar winner was ordered to pay Aubry $16,000 per month in child support, according to E! News. Yeah, that's how it works. See, if women did not try to force themselves into the workforce and become men, basically, that they never would have found themselves in this position. Men would have had to keep putting up with this bullshit system forever. But hey, women's liberation is actually going to end up liberating men in the end, just like what feminism did in general. Feminism and women's sexual liberation really just helped men out. Like, not the kind of men who want the traditional family still. If you want that, you better go overseas. But if you're one of those guys, like if you're a pickup artist, if you just go have one-night stands all the time, this is your paradise. Women are so easy these days. Women's sexual liberation has made it so men no longer have to get married to even get sex. It's great. It's absolute paradise for certain types of men, and for women too in the short term. But once they hit the wall, they're not going to be able to recover from that like a man would. But that's what you wanted. We warned you, but you wanted it, so enjoy. I don't want to hear any crying. And continuing in the Instagram comments, she revealed that she's been paying child support for a decade now. Them's the breaks. I mean, welcome to the life of your average man in the Western world. I feel if a woman's or a man is having to pay support that is way more than the reasonable needs to help support the child, I think that's wrong, she explained. 100% agreed. I've been saying this for years. You guys remember like 6 fucking years ago when I was making the point that any woman who collects child support should have to provide receipts each month proving that every cent of that money went to the kids? Because I've known so many single mothers that they never spend their child support payments on their kids. Their kids are often living in squalor, and the child support payments go to buying her a new pair of jeans so she can go clubbing and get some more dick later that night. If these women were forced to provide the receipts to prove that every penny of the child support actually went to provide for the kid, that alone would change a lot. As she continued, I understand some parents, man or woman, may need help, but I also feel in these modern times, both men and women have the responsibility to financially take care of their children and work hard to make every effort to do so. Yeah, welcome to what men have been saying for years. Yeah, nobody cared as long as it was only us. But now that women are saying it, now people are going to listen. Berry then said that child support laws allow for people to use their children to obtain money that they then use to live a lifestyle that their parents didn't earn. Wow! Once again, it's fucking hilarious hearing basically my own words from 6-7 years ago being parroted back to me. Wow! Am I living in the Twilight Zone? Is this just an echo that's took almost a decade to come back to me? What's going on? Dang, if only the system was fixed before women had to suffer through it, huh? If only women had the foresight to know that one day they would be on the receiving end of this bullshit. Maybe we could have prevented this. But you didn't want that, did you? Furthermore, she described such fees as way above and beyond the child's reasonable needs, calling such instances the wrong and where I see the abuse. Yes, because child support payments are not based at all on what the kid actually needs. They're based on a percentage of the money the paying parent makes. That's it. So such laws are outdated, she said, and no longer reflect the modern world. Yup, now that women are starting to be affected by this, and it's not just a tool to extract money from men, now we can get rid of this whole system. Yeah, now that it's no longer an exclusively anti-male law, now we need to change it. I see what's going on. I can say I'm living it every day, and I can tell you it's hard, Berry added. I totally understand the feelings of those men who feel that they are and have been taken advantage of by the system. And the only way we can ever change this system is make sure more women understand this. And the only way they're ever going to understand this is to go through what Halle Berry did. They're going to have to go through it themselves. Then suddenly they're going to want to fix the system. So I'm glad to see this happening. It's only a matter of time. Now, as women are out earning men, while still claiming there's a pay gap, which is pretty hilarious, but whatever. As women are out earning men, more women than men are soon going to be stuck paying child support. And that is when the system's going to be fixed. That's when it's finally going to be changed. But until then, if you're a man, if you want a traditional family, you want kids, go overseas. You're not going to get what you want in the West. Any feminazi-infested country, avoid that. And that's pretty much all there is to say about this shit. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.